pose threats to the national security of the United States. Number two is, what are we doing in the Middle East with a combination of the Sunni-Shia conflict driven by the Shia arc that Iran is now trying to establish in the Middle East, and also the growing threat of ISIS. And the third is rebuilding and reinvigorating NATO in Europe, particularly in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, where Vladimir Putin is now threatening the territory of multiple countries who already control 20% of Georgia and a significant percentage of Ukraine. Ask you to follow the full proper question. Violent extremists are operating or active in 40 countries. So many countries are in different degrees of instability, and so that's just the crises overseas. Barack Obama walked into an economic collapse when he came into office, facing international health crises from Ebola to Zika. So there's a lot of opportunity for crisis, as you've talked about. What would you point to in your past to show voters that you've been in a crisis and that you've been tested when that inevitable crisis comes when you're president?
Let me just tell you what's happened a couple of years ago. One of the hardest decisions you'll ever make in Congress is when you are asked by the president to authorize the use of force in a conflict. Because you are now putting your name on behalf of the people of your state behind a military action where Americans in uniform could lose their life. So in 2014, Barack Obama said he would not take military action against Assad unless it was authorized by the Senate, beginning on the Committee of Foreign Relations, where I am one of its members. And it was hard because as you looked at the pictures, I saw the same images people saw. I'm the father of children. I saw the images of these little children been gassed and poisoned by their own leader. And we were angry. Something had to happen, and there was the sense that we needed to seek retribution. And then I looked at Barack Obama's plan. Barack Obama's plan, which John Kerry later described as unbelievably small, and I concluded that that attack would not only not help the situation, it would make it actually worse. It would allow Assad to stand up to the United States of America, survive a strike, stay in power, and actually strengthen his grip. And so it was a difficult decision to make. And when we only had a few days to look at it, make a decision on it, and I voted against Barack Obama's plan to use force, and it was the right decision.
Dr. Carson, I want to ask you a question. Dr. Carson, you said you've had more 2 a.m. phone calls than anybody up on this stage. But when those 2 a.m. phone calls came, you operated on a foundation of all that amazing medical work that you did. All of that your name. So if you were to be president, though, you wouldn't have the political foundation that owns those instincts when the 2 a.m. phone call comes. So isn't that a liability?
No, it isn't. First of all, let me go back to your first question for me. It wasn't phrased as who gets to nominate Supreme Court appointees. Of course, that's the president. So I know that there's some left-wing media who would try to make hay on that. Secondly, thank you for including me in the debate. 2 questions already. This is great. Now, as far as those 2 a.m. phone calls are concerned, judgment is what is required. And the kinds of things that you come up with are sometimes very, very difficult and very unique. One of the things that I was known for is doing things that have not been done before. So no amount of experience really prepares you to do
Technical difficulties, people. I'm very sorry.
Been done before. That's where judgment comes. And that I think is a situation that we're in right now, a situation that we have never been in before, with the kinds of threats that pose real danger to our nation, and it comes in from very significant those situations.
Governor Case, Russia is being credited Russia is being credited with bombing U.S.-backed rebels on behalf of Assad and Aleppo in Syria. They've also moved into the Crimea, eastern Ukraine. You said you want to punch them in the nose. What's that mean? What are you going to do?
First of all, look, we have to make it clear to Russia what we expect. We don't have to declare an enemy or rattle a sword or threaten, but we need to make it clear what we expect. Number one is we will arm the folks in Ukraine who are fighting for their freedom. They deserve it. There'll be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Secondly, an attack on NATO trumped up on any excuse of Russian-speaking people, either in the NATO countries or in Finland or Sweden, is going to be an attack on us. And look, I think we have an opportunity as America to put something really great together again. The Egyptians, the Saudis, the Jordanians, the Gulf states, they all know they're at risk. We don't when we look into Europe, we look at France, we look at Germany and the migrants, we look at Belgium, we look at Britain. Everybody now is being threatened by radical Islam. We have an opportunity to lead. You know, the fact of the matter is the world is desperate for our leadership. Sometimes they may make a remark here or there that we don't like, but frankly, the world needs us, and we have an opportunity now to assemble a coalition of the civilized people, those who respect civilization, the rights of women, the rights to protest, to be able to reassert our leadership all across this globe again and make sure this century is going to be the best we've ever seen.
Governor Bush, you said defeating ISIS requires defeating Assad, but wouldn't that also put us into conflict with Russia, a country that supports Assad? So doesn't that mean effectively Assad's there to stay?
No, it doesn't. And that's the problem. The lack of leadership in this country by Barack Obama, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, thinking that this is a policy that works, this policy of containment with ISIS. It's a complete, unmitigated disaster. And to allow Russia now to have influence in Syria makes it harder, but we need to destroy ISIS and dispose of Assad to create a stable Syria so that the 4 million refugees aren't a breeding ground for Islamic jihadists. This is the problem. Donald Trump brought up the fact that he would want to accommodate Russia. Russia is not taking out ISIS. They're attacking our team, the team that we've been training and the team that we've been supporting. It is absolutely ludicrous to suggest that Russia could be a positive partner in this. They are on the run. They are making, every time we step back, they're on the run. The question that you asked was a really good one about what you would do. What 3 things would you do? I would restore the military. The sequester needs to be reversed. I would have a strategy to destroy ISIS. And I would immediately create a policy to contain as it relates to Iran's ambition, and to make it clear that we are not going to allow for Iran to do what it is doing, which is to move towards a nuclear weapon. Those 3 things would be the first and foremost things that we need to do in 2017.
Mr. Trump, where you were mentioning, or you did say you could get along very well with Vladimir Putin. Did at one point say that Russia has taken care of
Hopefully, genius, like them so far. I have to say this. Jeb is so wrong. Jeb is absolutely so. That's just saying that, you know, that is, that's Jeb's special interest in life or something. Look, let me tell you something. Jeb is so wrong. You gotta fight ISIS first. You fight ISIS first. Right now you have Russia, you have Iran, and you have them with Assad, and you have them with Syria. You have to knock out ISIS and chop off heads. These are animals. You have to knock them out. You have to knock them off slow. You decide what you have. You can't fight towards it one time. If you listen to him, if you listen to some of the folks that, and I've been listening to that, that's why we've been in the Middle East for 50 years, and we haven't won anything. We've spent $5 trillion in the Middle East. Thinking like that, we've spent $5 and Lindsey Graham went back to who had zero and this falls. So let me just set this up. I'm thinking we've spent I only tell the truth on this. We've spent $5 trillion all over the. We have to rebuild our country. We have to rebuild our infrastructure. You listen to that, you're going to be there for another 50.
All right,
The very basic fact is that Vladimir Putin is not going to be an ally of the United States. The whole world knows this. It's a simple basic fact. They're not taking it out. They're not even attempting to take out ISIS. They're attacking the troops that we're supporting. We need to create a coalition, a civilian-led coalition on the ground with our special operators to destroy ISIS and bring about stability. And you can't do that with Assad in power. We're supporting. So we don't even know if they are. We're supporting this ridiculous. We don't even know who they are.
all right,
We have no idea who they are.
gentlemen, I think we're gonna leave that there. I've got a question.
It's just more policy from the show. There's a guy who thinks that is a great negotiator. We're living in dangerous times. New Hampshire. This is the man, and he wins his way to the nomination for me.
All right, go ahead. All right, gentlemen, let's leave it there so I can ask the question of Senator Cruz, who's also running for president. Senator Cruz. We talked about the first goal for this being a kind of model for your focus to determine the depth to go after crisis. But there was 700,000 troops as a part of that. So, and you don't have a ground component to your plan. Why?
Well, we need to focus on what the objective is. You know, your question about the first three questions you would ask in the situation, I think it is a problem if the president, commander-in-chief we elected does not have the experience, the background to understand the threats facing this country coming in on day one. facing this country, the single gravest threat, national security threat, is the threat of a nuclear Iran. That's why I pledged on day one to rip to shreds this Iranian nuclear deal. And anyone that thinks you could negotiate with Khamenei does not understand the nature of Khamenei. When it comes to ISIS, we gotta have a focus. One of the problems of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's foreign policy, and sadly, too many establishment Republicans in Washington, is they focus on issues unrelated to protecting this country. They focus on nation building. They focus on toppling governments to promote democracy, and it ends up undermining our national security. Now, with regard to ISIS, we need a commander-in-chief that sets the objective. We will utterly defeat them because they have declared war. They have declared jihad on us. Now, what do we need to carry that out? We need to overwhelming air power. We need to arm the Kurds to be our boots on the ground, and if ground troops are necessary, then we should employ them. But it shouldn't be politicians demonstrating political toughness. It should be the military expert judgment and carrying out the objectives set out by the commander-in-chief.
Very 30-second follow-up. You said you would essentially the Kurds would be the American ground forces in there. The criticism that experts have on that is that the Kurds only can work within their territory. If they take large, so the Kurds can't really do as much as you seem to be putting on their backs.
We have Kurds in both of Iraq and Syria. If they are fighting ISIS right now, they are winning victories right now. ISIS is using American military equipment that they seized in Iraq, and the Obama administration refused to arm the Kurds, the Peshmerga, the fighting forces who've been long-time allies. We ought to be arming them and letting them fight. Now, we need to embed special forces to direct their overwhelming air power. If it is required to use ground troops to defeat ISIS, we should use them, but we ought to start with using our incredible air power advantage. The first Persian Gulf War, we launched 1,100 air attacks a day. Today, we're launching between 15 and 30. We're not using the tools we have, and it's because the commander-in-chief is not focused on defeating the enemy. All right, Mr. Trump.
On Monday, George W. Bush will campaign in South Carolina for his brother. As you said tonight, and you often said Iraq war and your opposition to it was a sign of you're a good judge. In 2008, in an interview with Wolf Blitzer, talking about President George W. Bush's conduct of the war, you said that you were surprised the Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't try to impeach him. You said, quote, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing. Close quote. When you were asked what you meant by that, you said for the war. For the war, he lied. He got us into the war lies. Do you still believe President Bush should be impeached? Should have been impeached?
I have to say, as a business man, I get along with everybody. I have businesses all over the world. I know so many of the people in the audience, and by the way, I'm a self-funder. I don't have my wife, but I have my son. That's all I have. I don't have. So, they just said, I get along with everybody, which is my obligation to my company, to myself, obviously, the war part, Iraq is a big, fat mistake. All right? Now, you can take it anywhere you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, it took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. It took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iraq is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So, George Bush made a mistake. We didn't make mistakes. But that was the beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
So I mean, you still think he should be
It's like Turkey. You do whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. Okay, they said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass.
okay. Got it. When a member on the stage is brother gets attacked,
I got 5 or 6. If I can get to do it 5 or 6 times, or just one time. So here's the deal. I'm sick and tired of Barack Obama blaming my brother for all of the problems that he's had. Frankly, I care less about the insults that Donald Trump gives to me. His blood's for him. He enjoys it, and I'm glad he's happy about it. But I want to admit I'm tired of going for my family. My dad is the greatest man alive than my mom. While Donald Trump was building a reality TV show, my brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe. I'm proud of what he did. He's at the gall to go where World Trade Center came at the gall run the whole plan ready to buy everything. The gall to go after my butt. That's not true. I won a lottery when I was born 63 years ago. So look at what I saw.
Excuse the interruption, James Weatherson of fans. We are having technical difficulties. I do not know what is going on. Sponsors, I could really use your help. I need some new equipment because this is not working. And we are going to have to abort this because it is not working. So, Tim's Weather Center News is going to be back on Saturdays, and we're going to hope everything is working by next Saturday. I hope you all can join me for next Saturday's broadcast. It should be February 20th at 2:30 p.m. Tim's Weather Center News is struggling to get the views, and the presidential debate is not working as great. So, Tim's Weather Center News wants to thank you guys so much for joining Tim's Weather Center News for the Republican debate. Again, always on my website at timsweathercenternews.com. And again, guys, tell everyone you know about Tim's Weather Center News. I could really use some help getting better equipment. That way we don't have any problems. But as of right now, Tim's Weather Center News is going to go ahead and call it a night. And if you got breaking news or weather, you can text me, call me, whatever, at 480-938-0798. And I will definitely bring that to you guys live or on Facebook. Thank you guys again for joining, and we'll see you next Saturday, the 20th at 2:30 p.m. with my Uncle Johnny live in Joplin, Missouri. Don't forget, my website is all up to date, and I will continue updating it all week long. So we'll see you guys next Saturday at 2:30. Thank you guys, and have a great night.